Hello, welcome to the Reframing Mindset podcast. We are clear my head of the thoughts that are preventing clarity, practice my speech, among other things. Episodes range from informative knowledge to funny stories about my experiences, and in the future, maybe include interviews. So subscribe and enjoy. Episodes drop every other day. Okay, welcome back to Reframing Mindset podcast. My name is Colin St. Brooks, and this episode will talk about carrot and stick. Yeah, because in um I guess in the one of the previous episodes you'd have here, it pays to do the right thing, and you would have mentioned to say, okay, the world is set up to do the wrong thing. The wrong thing is really easy to do, and I see it in the 95, like when you're going through, the wrong way, the wrong way. I see it being done. And when I was starting and I wanted to do the wrong way, and it's like, and it's like, and the wrong way is not wrong in the sense that it's not wrong in the sense that it's bad. In the sense that it's just the thing is that the stats is kind of flawed in the way how it's set up. So that's what happened. So wasn't really the wrong thing. It's just that the stats to me is flawed. But if it's fixed, then the stats kind of the purpose of the stats kind of really defeats the purpose in the sense that I think they would actually leave that stat, they remove that stat, which they would supposed to do, which they would supposed to do because um then we would actually focus on doing our work. But the stats is there, and what happens is that there's a way to actually do it so that okay, if this situation comes up, you can basically do this thing without you knowing that without we knowing that okay, it's been done. And then because it's not being done, it's not being tracked on the stats, and then boom, when time to come to pay out to be like, okay, yes, you don't you don't do this stat. Um you meet the stats because you actually did the way to actually make sure that you're not seen being doing the stats. And yeah, that is okay and all, but say for example in the business of science, you can't just be doing that. Especially when you're working on things to maybe save people life. If you actually just did playful things, and that's the thing about the hard part now, the hard part of the science stuff in a sense that because what is the right thing? That's where it gets complicated because while we're doing something new in science, basically you have no formula. So it's like, bro, you're just basically just doing stuff. So it's like what happens is that you're just experimenting, and when you find the experiment and you say, okay, yes, I got this right. Yes, you got it right, but there's a lot of things wrong as well. A lot of things could be wrong as well. Like for example, it's not like the theory of relativity was just came up overnight. It's like there's a lot of things that had to be proven wrong to know that okay, yes, this theory of relativity stands the test of time. And that's the thing. That's what science is. Is not you have fact and theory, but what happens is that the fact has to stand the test of time. That's the thing. Because the theory the theory give you so the theory gives you the concept in a sense that okay, yes, this is always supposed to work. This is supposed to work. And or the theories be like, yeah, this is what you should know about it. But in practice now it's be like, okay, yes. You have to actually it So the fact now would be like, yo, this is what you're supposed to do, and if you do it this way, you get this stats and 100 are well not 100%, you but you're supposed to get this stats 99.99% of the time, and that's what the complicated thing about the business sense is. It can just it's really hard to actually do stuff like that. You think these lab stuff are easy. I did labs, and you one thing when you're doing labs is that you go in and you hear this thing that we're going to do today. Oh, we're going to do this experiment today, and be like, oh yes, we're supposed to get this. Or when I reach the university level, what happens is that they don't. So when they're in high school, they give you a some when you're in high school, they kind of have an expectation as to what you're supposed to expect. And what happens is that when you don't get that expectation, it's known that okay, you did something wrong. You did something wrong because this is what is supposed to happen. And so that's how it went in high school. What we're at the university level now, when you're doing the Bachelor of Science level now, what happens is that you know what's supposed to happen, but when you don't get what you're supposed to happen, you also know why you're you're not getting that stuff. And what happens is that you don't have time, you don't get to actually say, okay, I can do this over and stuff like that. No, you have to live through the mistakes, explain why you did not get the stats, and then you have to actually make the right play, or right the right lab, given that the stats did not go the way you wanted or stuff like that. That's how it goes. Because what happens is that when you reach the university level, the resources are becoming limited. This stuff are getting more um rare, and this resources are getting more limited. So it's like yo, you have to be you don't have much time, and then the time is becoming short as well. You don't have, well, it's a lot of time doing the labs, but you don't really have all day to actually. And what happens is that more people are doing it. So yes, the resources and time is really getting smaller when you're at the university level. So you don't have the time to actually go around and just been doing over and over and getting the wrong results. After a while, you have to live through the wrong results and then actually explain why you got this wrong result and then what you're supposed to get and all those stuff and stuff like that. So as I said, it pays to do the right thing, but the wrong way. There's a lot of wrong ways that Yeah, as I said, I reached a point in life where I did have a lot of wrong ways. I did a lot of wrong ways. I didn't get the consequences and stuff like that. I did a lot of wrong ways. I guess this phase of my life is just me just trying to reverse that, in the sense that we're not reversing in the sense that, oh, and saying, okay, I regret those wrong ways or stuff like that. In a sense that if I could actually start turning things around and start doing certain stuff the right way, it becomes more positive. Because if you're just basically just if you're looking up to people and you're starting, and we're like, okay, they teach you the right way. You start off doing the right way, but the higher you go, you realize how many of the people that are over you are just keep doing things the wrong way. And we're like, then they're encouraging you to do things the wrong way, and be like, oh, you know, that does make sense. That does make sense. So it's like you're what happens is that at the end of the day, all the accomplishments are fraud because you're just basically just doing the wrong way to get them. And it's like, oh, you're not really satisfied because you're basically on the wrong side of the road all the time. But if you actually find the right way back into the episode, it pays well. It pays to do the right thing. If you know the right way how to actually get these things done, then you actually say, okay, I'm just going to start teach the right way. Then the person after that, okay, I can trust the fact that okay, this is the right way to do it, and it's up to my ability now to actually just put in the work the right way and just get it myself. And then when they get it themselves, to be like, yo, I did it. and I'm confident because I did it the right way and I put in the work. Yeah. So I guess that's basically what the sticks is about in, I guess, in the business of science, in the sense that you're promoting. So so basically what the carrot and stick is that there's a lot of wrong ways to do stuff in the science stuff and in the science business and labs and everything. And you want, when you hire an employee and stuff like that, and you get them in, for example, something like a pandemic or stuff like that, you want to be able to actually say, oh, when you're in this situation where you have to make the right decisions, you're rewarding the right decisions, and you're not rewarding the wrong decisions. You know, like, for example, you have to make a vaccine quick. Yeah, a lot of people want to make a vaccine quick, but you have to do it the right way, or you're basically making a poison to kill the whole to kill the whole human race. So you have to have the this right stats where be like, okay, this is the right thing to track, so that boom, when you're in the lab, you're doing the fundamentals the right way, and then we're rewarding you for that, and then we're punishing you for doing the wrong, for going the wrong way. Or we're not saying not punishing you, but it's when you're doing the science as a business, you are you as an employee just basically know that it's it's the business should set up in a way where people know that, okay, yeah, this is this is really a negative for you, the employee, for you doing this way. You're going to be paid less, and then you're basically losing your reputation as well. Not doing it this way and stuff like that. And so that's how it should be. Where it should be promoted to do the right way, and not that we are perfect and stuff like that. But the thing about it is that you have to actually just promote the good way in time, because I I said we're not perfect. When I'm doing this 9 to 5, I didn't just become pro overnight. I'm still not pro by the recording of this episode. So I don't expect an employee to just come in and just be pro or stuff like that. But what happens is that if you get the foundation, we say, okay, these are the right things that we want to see happen. And they know, okay, these are the positive stats. These are the positive ways to do this work. They're coming in expecting that from the start. And what happens is that they're working to get these positive stats. And what happens is that they make some mistakes on the way, but over time the fundamentals will just start clicking over time, and it just becomes second nature at one point where be like, okay, we know, you just come in and know that, this is the right way to do this, because it's been ingrained into you so much. You'll be like, oh yes, this is the right way to do it. And it's like, yes. uh, what that does is it limits the bad. It brings more confidence in the company, in the company, and it brings more reputation to the company, to know that, okay, we can trust that, yes, this company is doing things the right way. And that's the wild thing about it, because I said that, you say that, okay, yes, I can trust that this company is doing the right way. And the thing about reputation is that it can be broken so fast, because it can take so much time to build a reputation, and then boom, it's broken down so fast. So yes, that's another thing you got to look for in the business of science as well. The characteristics where you're promoting the positive side, and then it's basically punishment for actually doing things the wrong way. Just so things, the science is being done ethically and stuff like that. And less bad things can happen, or less expenses can be need when you're doing lab stuff, you know. So that's basically it for this episode. Thanks for listening, and look for the next episode. Mhm.
Well, this is the end of the episode. Thanks for watching. and look forward for the next episode. To support this podcast, go to anchor.fm/cssb/support or become a sponsor for this episode. If you have a product that you want to have more exposure, DM me on the Instagram page, Reframing Mindset Podcast, or on Twitter at ReframingP. Either way would help. Thank you regardless for listening, and here's a preview for the next episode.
Transportation, because this is very important. Because you know the way I grew up. This is one thing I know that is very important. I know one thing I did in that in my 9 to 5 work that I'm doing now. This is really convenient. Having the staff bus. You just basically just go there and just carry where you want to go. And what happened also was that at my university they usually have the university bus as well, the student bus as well, where you just in my years there, what happened was that you could just take the bus. Like if the time comes, you can just take the bus and you just go and it carries you back to your dorm. And but then that that was when it was really convenient because what happened was that when I usually leave the lab to walk to my dorm, it's usually be a long walk.